So you should be looking for the multiplying binomials piece of your notes today. We're on 8.5. So we finished with 8.4 yesterday. Looking towards 8.5 today. Yesterday what we worked on is we worked on multiplying monomials times binomials. So as an example of what we worked on yesterday, we worked on taking something like 3x times x squared plus 2x plus 1. Something like that. For the most part, you guys did a nice job with your homework of just kind of distributing that into both pieces. So if I distribute it into the first one, 3x, 2 and 1 is 3. We distribute into the next one, 3 times 2 is 6. We've got 2 x's, and then 3x times 1 is just 3x, and we were able to get a solution for that, and that was done. Today what we're going to work on doing is we're going to work on multiplying binomials. So binomial are two-term polynomials. Remember, binomial, bi means two. So we're going to take and we're going to multiply two binomials together. And we're going to show you I'm going to show you two ways to do it. First way I'm going to show you is the F.O.I.L method. And we'll talk about exactly what that means in just a second. F.O.I.L method works really well, but it has its limitations. The other method, which tends to be a little bit more popular, is the box method for doing this. And we'll show you kind of both of those ways. And then you can determine for yourself which one you would rather do while you're doing this. So we've got two methods today to multiply binomials. We'll start with the F.O.I.L. So F.O.I.L is just an acronym. It essentially means you're going to multiply the first terms together of each binomial. You're going to multiply the outer terms with each other. You're going to multiply the inner terms with each other. And you're going to multiply the last terms with each other. And then you're going to combine like terms to do that. Okay. So when we're talking about the first terms and multiplying the first terms together. So that's what the F stands for. So you'll see a lot of arrows being drawn when people use F.O.I.L. This means that I'm going to multiply the first terms by each other. So I'm going to take 2x and I'm going to multiply that to x. So when I take 2x times x, the result of that is 2x squared. So that's what it is when I do the first one. That's what the F stands for, the first terms. O stands for the outer terms. So the outer terms are 2x and negative 5. So I'm going to take the first term, which is the outer term, 2x, and I'm going to multiply that by negative 5. Multiply the numbers together. 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, and then we bring the x along. So we've got we've got outside. Now we got to do the inside. So our inside terms are this 1 and this x right here. So that means I'm going to take 1 times x. 1 times x is just x. And then L stands for our last terms. So we've got first, outside, inside, last. And the last terms are exactly what they sound like. They're the last terms. So the last terms are 1 and negative 5. Now just kind of notice with this negative 5, notice how I brought the symbol along with it. Just bring the symbol along, whatever is there. If it's a plus, you don't have to write it down. If it's a minus, make sure you just bring negative 5 with. 1 times negative 5 is negative 5. Okay, so now I have these four terms. Here and here. I've got 2x. I've got these two. And I've got that one. Now we have to finish it off by combining like terms. So we do first, outside, inside, last. And now you'll notice the two inner terms, the O and the I. Okay, they're both first degree. They both just have an x. So we underlined So there was 2 there. There'd be 1 there and 1 there. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite this as 2x squared. We've got 10 x's, 10 apples, and we're subtracting 1 apple. So we're adding 1 apple, but so that's negative 9x. And then minus 5. That's our solution for this problem. Okay. Combining those little middle terms is negative 10 plus 1x. Negative 10 plus 1 is negative 9. That's where that middle term comes from. So this is called the F.O.I.L method. Now, multiplying binomials, this is something it never goes away. They had to do this in my Algebra 2 class earlier today. There was more reasons why they had to do it. They just weren't multiplying it out, but they were solving something. So it's something that's used from now until you're done with math. Geometry even uses it. Okay. So that's the F.O.I.L method. So that's one method. The next method is what we call the box method. I like the box method when you're first learning how to do this. I think it works really well. And it makes kind of sense. So box method probably means that we're going to create a box. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to create this box. And I'm going to create a 2 by 2 box. And I'm creating a 2 by 2 box because I have a binomial times a binomial. If I had a binomial and a trinomial, my box would be a little bit different because I've got 2 terms and 3 terms. But what we do with this then is we're going to take this 2x plus 1, and I'm going to put the 2x there, and I'm going to put the 1 there. Because it's positive, I'm not going to put the sign there. So I'm taking that along the top. I'm going to take this 3x minus 8, and I'm going to put the 3x here, and I'm going to put the negative 8 there. So I've got this box that's created with my binomials. Because this was negative, I wanted to bring the negative along. So now how this is done. So to do the box method, what we're going to do is we're going to go down and this way. And we're going to meet them together. So this first box is going to be 2x times 3x. So we're down and over. What meets there is what we multiply together. 2x times 3x, 6x. How many x's do we have? 2. So that's 6x squared. Now we're going to keep dropping this 2x down, and we're going to bring this negative 8 now into the mix. So this next box is going to be 2x times negative 8. So we came down with our 2x and it crossed with our negative 8. 2x times negative 8, negative 16x. Now if you notice, I've done the first, I've done the outsides. Now we're going to move over to the second column. We're going to drop that 1 down and we're going to bring the 3 across. So this is 1 times 3x. 1 times 3x is 3x, which would be the inside. And now we're going to go to our last one, where we're going to drop the 1 down and bring the 8 across. So it's going to be 1 times, I should probably put negative 8, right? So that's 1 times negative 8, which is negative 8. So now we got to look at, so we've got our box completed. Box completed by first, outside, inside, last. So it's really still F.O.I.L. It's really still distributive property. But now we got to combine like terms. And here's kind of the nice thing about this. As long as your binomials look the same, like 3x minus 1 and 3x, so you have an x and then just a constant, your diagonals are going to be like terms. So when we write this, I've got 6x squared. I can combine the highlighted ones. Negative 16 plus 3. So negative 16 plus 3 is negative 13x. And then I've got that minus 8 sitting in the other box. That's my solution to this, using this box method. And we're going to use this box method a lot. We're going to factor here eventually in the next unit. And we're going to use this box method kind of in reverse when we're going the opposite direction. Okay, so the box method is going to come back to us. So we've got two methods to multiply binomials. You can choose which one you use. We've either got the F.O.I.L method or we've got the box method. Again, I prefer the box method, especially when you're first learning how to do it. But just understand that the box method is really just F.O.I.L. Okay, let's look at the next one. So we've got 8x minus 6 times x plus 2. Okay. I want to use the box method to do this one. So I want to practice that. So I'm going to go 8x minus 6 and x and 2. Where'd it go? There it is. Okay. So I drop the 8x down. I bring the x over. So it's 8x times x. So that's 8x squared. Bring the 8x all the way down. Then I have to take 8x times 2, which is 16x. So I've got my first column done. I go to the second column. I drop down the negative 6 and take that times x. So that's just negative 6x. And then I drop down the negative 6 and take it times 2. That's negative 12. Notice the diagonals. We've got 6x and 16x, so those are like terms. So when we write it down, 8x squared is our largest one. 16 minus 6 is 10. And then minus 12. That's your solution using the box method of multiplying two binomials together. You can kind of see going forward the box method, if we use 3, we would just add another little box over here on the side and we can still follow the same procedure. It's kind of why I like the box method to do this. Okay, let's look at the next one. Okay, go ahead and set up your box and then stop. But I want to talk about something real quick. That's it up. What? So what happens if I mess up and I do this? You keep yours how you did it. But what if I did this instead? What if I put the x and the 7 here and I put the x minus 5 on the top? Doesn't matter. You're still going to get the same things. Okay? So yours, you probably did the x and the 7 and the x and the negative 5. Notice that if I go here and here, I'm not going to write it down this time, and you don't need to write it down either, but I'm going to take x times x. X times x is x squared. If I look at my other one, x times x is still x squared. So I get the same thing for that box. If I drop the x down and take x times negative 5, that's negative 5x. Okay, well with this one I would have 7x. So it's a little different. But if I go over to the column now, 7 times x is 7x. So I've repeated it, and I've got negative 5x over there. So I still have the same things. My diagonals have just switched spots. And that's okay. Still got the same answer. 7 times negative 5 is negative 35. Negative 35. So in both cases, you end up with x squared. Negative 5 plus 7 is 2, so that's 2x, and minus 35. Either way you do it, you end up with the same solution to this. So it doesn't matter. If you go on the top first, you go on the side first, doesn't matter. As long as you're clear with where you're going with what you're multiplying together. And again, you'll notice in that example, I didn't write the multiplication down. In these, I wrote the 8x times x. As long as you know what you're doing, you knew x times x is x squared. You can just go ahead and skip that step as well. Okay, go ahead, set that one up and finish it. Again, I just use the box method. It's just easier. We'll do the last one together. I want you to do this one by yourself. I want you to do this one by yourself. Then we'll do the last one. We're going to use FOIL on the last one, just so you can see that one more time. Give you about a minute. This shouldn't take very long.
I already did the box method.
That's fine. We'll just do the second one using FOIL, just to show you. I want to show you one more example of FOIL. I showed a lot of the box method. I just want to show one example.
I did box on the last two.
That's fine. That's fine.
I did box all.
Okay, so if you peek up, you should be able to check your answer, see how you did. Questions with that one? All right, we're going to do the last one. I know some of you already done it doing the box method, but I do want to show you one more example of the FOIL. And those that have done the box method already, just show you that it's the same. So FOIL is first. So we're going to take 8n times 3n. And I'm just going to do it. 8 times 3 is 24. N times n is n squared. Now we're going to do the outside. Guys, 30 more seconds. Outside is 8n times negative 4. So that's negative 32n. Now I'm just writing it in a string this time. I is inside. It's negative 2 times 3n, which is negative 6n. And the L is last. Negative 2 times negative 4, which is positive 8. Your middle terms can be put together. So it's 24n squared. Negative 32 minus 6. Get the calculator out. That's negative 38n plus 8. And there's your solution. And you're done. Same answer you got if you did using the box method, those of you that did? Would have been the same. Okay? So this is day 1 of 8.5, multiplying binomials together. Choose which method you want to use, FOIL or the box method. Box method is just easier. That would be my suggestion, but you can use whatever one you want to that. Right? If you have questions as you're doing your assignment, make sure you ask. Phones should be kept away until you get your assignment done. Once you get your assignment done, then you're free to take the phones out and kind of do what you need to do. You need to rest your eyes at that point in time. That's what you need to do. Make sure you have your work done. Time's yours, use it well. Bell rings at 57. So 23 minutes today to get things done.